Okay. In last class, I discussed acceleration and equations of motion. Okay. So here, I just based on the acceleration, I will explain some more applications. Okay. After that, I will start the freely falling body. Okay. Let us discuss the acceleration of a body. Acceleration. If the velocity of the body goes on increases, if the velocity of the body goes on increases with time, then the body is said to be having an acceleration. Okay. If the velocity of the body goes on decreases, then the body is said to be having deceleration. If the body travel with a constant velocity, then we can say the body has no acceleration. So here, whenever the body travel along the straight line, if the magnitude of velocity changes takes place, in such case, the body is said to be having an acceleration. Without changing the magnitude of the velocity or without changing the speed, if the direction of motion of the body changes takes place. For example, when a body travel along the circular path, if the body travel along the circular path, at any instant of time, the speed of the particle is v only. That means the magnitude of speed does not change with the time. But the direction of motion changes from instant to instant, no? The direction of motion changes from instant to instant. That's why even then, here, whenever the speed of the body remains constant, but direction of motion changes means, suppose when no force acts on the body continues to travel along the same straight line with the same velocity, with the same speed in magnitude. But here direction changes means definitely some force would be acting on the body towards the acting on the body to change the direction. That's why even though there is no change in the magnitude of the velocity, as the direction of motion changes takes place, then the body is said to be having some acceleration. So whenever the body here, the body possesses an acceleration. Whenever the magnitude of velocity changes takes place, direction of motion changes takes place, or magnitude as well as direction changes takes place. In that case, the body is said to be having some acceleration. Okay. So here, in this case, so what is the acceleration means? Whenever the velocity of the body changes means magnitude or direction or both. When changes takes place, the body possesses an acceleration. That's why here, suppose in a time delta t seconds, the change in velocity of the body is say delta v. In a time delta t seconds, the change in velocity of a body is say delta t. Then change in velocity per second, that is called the rate of change in the velocity of a body. Rate of change in velocity of a body. The rate of change in velocity of a body is called an acceleration. So what is the SI unit of the acceleration? Velocity by time. Velocity means in SI system meter per second. Time means second. So meter per second by second. That's why meter per second square is the SI unit of the acceleration. SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. In CS system, their unit is centimeter per second square. In CS system, it is centimeter per second square. Okay, then here you see, as the change in velocity means it is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. That's why you can write in vector form also like this. So in vector form, a bar is equal to delta v bar by delta t, we can write, or delta v bar means that is the change in velocity. Change in velocity means final velocity minus initial velocity whole by time t. So this is the formula for acceleration of a body. From this, here you see, you do cross multiplication from this, then v bar minus u bar is equal to a bar into t, or v bar is equal to u bar plus a bar into t, we can write now. Already we are having v is equal to u plus at. That is the equation of the motion. One of the equations of the motion. Okay. So in vector form, we can write v bar is equal to u bar plus a bar into t. In vectors, based on this formula, we are having one problem also. Time is given, acceleration is given in vector form, initial velocity is given in vector form. Then what is the velocity of the body after time t seconds? Answer is given in vector form. That's why by using this formula, we can find acceleration of the velocity of the body after time t seconds. So when does the body possess an acceleration means whenever the magnitude of velocity changes takes place, magnitude, when magnitude alone changes takes place, or direction of motion alone changes takes place, direction alone changes takes place, or magnitude as well as direction changes takes place. Magnitude as well as direction changes takes place. Direction changes takes place. Direction changes takes place. The body possesses an acceleration. The body possesses an acceleration. So this is the case whenever the body possesses an acceleration. Okay, now yeah, dimension for Aditya. Dimension formula is the chapter is not started now. Of course, you may know, but for remaining people, dimension units and dimension chapter is not started now. That's why I cannot say now itself. ML T to power of minus 2. The dimension formula is correct, but that chapter is not started now. That's why I don't want to say now itself. Okay. So this is the acceleration. Now, related to acceleration, we have to discuss the various concepts here. Note points, various note points. Here, first of all, whenever the acceleration of the body remains constant, acceleration remains constant means magnitude. Here, magnitude, magnitude of the body may change takes place, or direction of motion changes takes place, or both may changes takes place. In such case, the body possesses an acceleration. If acceleration is uniform, if the acceleration is uniform, you see here, if the change in velocity of a body in equal intervals of time are equal, then the body is said to be moving with uniform acceleration. Okay, so here uniform acceleration or constant acceleration, uniform acceleration or constant acceleration, uniform acceleration or constant acceleration. Suppose here a body starts from rest. After 1 second, after t is equal to 1 second, the velocity becomes 2 meters per second. After time 2 seconds, the velocity becomes 4 meters per second. After 3 seconds, velocity becomes 6 meters per second. You see, from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 1 second. The increase in velocity is 2 minus 0, 2. Next, from 1 second to 2 second means time interval is 1 second. In the next 1 second time interval, the velocity of the body increases from 2 to 4 seconds. So increase in velocity is 2 meters per second. In the next second also, from 2 to 3 means 3 minus 2, 1 second. That means in the next 1 second also, the increase in velocity is from 4 to 6 means 6 minus 4, that is equal to 2 meters per second. That's why increase in velocity is same in equal intervals of time. Here interval of time is 1 second, here 1 second, here 1 second. That's why in equal intervals of time, the change in velocity remains the same. Then the body is said to be moving with the uniform acceleration. Okay, that's why what is the uniform acceleration means? Whenever the change in velocity of the body remains the same in equal intervals of time, then the body is said to be moving with uniform acceleration or constant acceleration. Whenever the body travel with constant acceleration, whenever whenever the body travel with constant acceleration, what about the equations of motion? We have to discuss now the equations of motion. Already I said equations of motion. Initially, the body starts motion with initial velocity, say u. Initially, the body starts motion with initial velocity u, say. Okay, travel with the uniform acceleration. At the point A, the body has initial velocity. The body starts their motion from the point A with initial velocity, say u. Travel with uniform acceleration, say a. Travel with uniform acceleration, say small a. After some time, t seconds, whenever the body reaches the point B, its velocity becomes, say, v. Okay, then in a time t seconds, the velocity of the body increases from u to v, no? That's why change in velocity is how much? Change in velocity is v minus u. Final velocity minus initial velocity is the change in velocity by time taken t. That means in t seconds, the change in velocity is v minus u. In a second, what is the change in velocity means? V minus u by t. The change in velocity per second, that is called rate of change in velocity, which is called, according to the definition of the acceleration, it is equal to acceleration. No? So a is equal to v minus u by t. Or you do cross multiplication, v minus u is equal to a into t, or V is equal to, we can write U plus AT, no? This is one equation of motion. Already you know that formula. Okay. So you know this formula. Next, we are having one more formula. S is equal to UT plus half AT square, no? S is equal to UT plus half AT square. How we can derive that formula? Here, acceleration A is equal to rate of change in velocity. That means dv by dt we can write now. dv by dt. Actually, in this delta v by delta t, if the time interval is very small, then this acceleration can also be called as the instantaneous acceleration. Instantaneous acceleration means change in velocity in a per second only. That is also formula same. But in this formula, whenever the delta t is very small, that can be represented as limit delta t tends to 0. It is delta t is not equal to 0, but nearer to 0. At the time, change in velocity by time. This is called instantaneous acceleration. This can be simply written as dv by dt. In this delta v by delta t, whenever the delta t is very small, then that is not equal to 0, but tends to 0 means very small. In such case, that acceleration is called instantaneous acceleration. That can also be represented as dv by dt. dv by dt means the differentiation of velocity with respect to time, no? Differentiation of velocity with respect to time. That is equal to acceleration. So according to the definition of the instantaneous acceleration, A is equal to, we can write dv by dt. From this, dv is equal to, do cross multiplication, A into dt, we can write now. Okay, we can write like this. Okay, now here A is equal to, dv is equal to A into dt, we can write like this. Okay, now at any instant of time, velocity means this only, no? At any instant of time, velocity is equal to u plus A into t. Now we want to discuss the, we want to derive the formula for equation of motion v square minus u square is equal to 2as. In such case, how we can derive that formula? So we need the relation between v and s. We have to obtain the relation between v and s, no? That's why here A is equal to dv by dt. This can be written as, you see, you multiply this dv by dt with ds and divide with ds. It makes no difference, no? You multiply the dv by dt with ds and divide with ds. It makes no difference. Okay, now here ds by dt, that is equal to ds by dt, you write here ds by dt into dv by ds. dv by ds. We can write like this, no? ds by dt means v into dv by ds. So A is equal to V into dV by ds, or V dV is equal to, do cross multiplication, A into ds, A into ds. Okay, now you integrate them on both sides, because we need the relation between V and U, V and S. Okay, that's why we obtained the relation between V and S like this. So now integrate on both sides. Initially, here A is constant because the body travel with uniform acceleration, no? That's why A is constant. Only variable is distance traveled or displacement. When the body travel along the straight line, displacement and distance both are same. When the body travel along the straight line in forward direction, in such case, distance travel and displacement both are same. Okay, now you see here at initial, whenever the body starts motion with initial velocity u, at the time it has no distance or no displacement. After some time, whenever it has covered a distance equal to s, at the time the velocity of the body is say v. Then what is the relation between v and s? Now we do integration. Integral v dv means we can write v square by 2. Limits u to v is equal to, a is constant, you keep aside. Integral ds means s. Limits 0 to s. Okay. Now you substitute the limits. First upper limit. Instead of v, write v only. V square by 2. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of v, substitute u. So u square by 2 is equal to a into, first you substitute upper limit s. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of s, you substitute 0. So 0. Therefore, here you take LCM. V square minus u square by 2 is equal to a into s. Or v square minus u square is equal to 2as, we can have, no? This is one more equation of motion. Here it is one equation of motion. It is one more equation of motion. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. It is one more equation of motion. Okay, next. S is equal to ut plus half at square is there. We have to derive that equation also. So we have to derive the S is equal to ut plus half at square. Ut plus half at square. We have to derive this formula. Okay, how we can derive? Already yesterday I said, from this formula, V minus U is equal to A into T. Okay, we have V square minus U square is equal to 2AS we got. We need the relation between S, U and T. V should not be there. So we have to eliminate V. From this formula, you substitute V value here. From this, how we can write V? V is equal to U plus AT, we can write now. You substitute here. V is equal to U plus AT. V means U plus AT. Square is there. You write square. Minus U square is equal to 2AS. Now you expand A plus B whole square. U square plus A square T square plus 2 into U into A into T minus U square is equal to 2AS. Here minus U square plus U square cancel. Okay, now from this S is equal to something we have to find. S is equal to this 2A you bring to left. That means it will be divided. So A square T square plus 2UAT whole by 2A. Now you split them. You split them. 2UAT by 2A means 2A cancel, then UT plus A square T square by 2A means A square cancel. 1 by 2 AT square. So 1 by 2 AT square. In this way, we can have the we can prove S is equal to UT plus half at square. These all equations are true. These all equations are true whenever acceleration A is constant or uniform. Then only we can use these formulas. Otherwise, if acceleration varies with time or varies with velocity, varies with this distance, in such cases, we cannot use these formulas. All of you remember that concept. Because in advance, mainly, they don't give the uniform acceleration concept problems because they don't ask the problems related to these equations generally. Okay, here acceleration varies with the time or acceleration varies with velocity. In such cases, what about the displacement of the body or velocity of a body? In such type of problems they may ask. Okay, that's why here these equations of motion, V is equal to U plus AT, V square minus U square is equal to AS, S is equal to UT plus half at square. These are the formulas holds good, or these are true only when the body travel with constant acceleration or uniform acceleration. Okay, next, what is whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration, what is the distance traveled by the body in nth second? What is the distance traveled by the body in nth second? Okay. So distance traveled by the body in nth second, that is the next equation. Already we know S is equal to U plus A into N minus half. Formula is there now. Distance traveled by the body in nth second. Okay. Distance traveled by the body in nth second. Okay, Mr. Aditya, ఈ బోర్డు షైనీగా లేకుండా డైరెక్షన్ మార్చాలి. ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్ డైరెక్షన్ మార్చుకుంటే మళ్ళీ టైం వేస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. అందుకనే జస్ట్ ఈ బ్రైట్ గా ఉన్న చోట ఇక్కడ ఈ బ్రైట్ గా ఉన్న ప్లేస్ దగ్గర కొంచెం రాసినప్పుడు మీకు కనిపించబోతుంది గ్లిటరీగా ఉండి. ఓకే, రిమైనింగ్ ప్లేసెస్ లో మీకు ఆల్రెడీ ఇట్ విల్ బి క్లియర్ ఐ థింక్. ఓకే, రైట్. సో Sn is equal to U plus A into N minus half. Here already yesterday I said it is the distance or displacement of a body in t seconds from the beginning. Ante t is equal to 0 దగ్గర నుంచి, from the starting point, from t is equal to 0, in a time t seconds, the distance traveled by the body is equal to S is equal to UT plus half at square. Ante this is the formula. It is the formula for the distance traveled by the body from the beginning, from the start. When it starts its motion with initial velocity u, after a time t seconds, what is the distance traveled means this is the formula for distance traveled. But here, what is the distance traveled in nth second they asked. Suppose in t is equal to, from beginning, from the starting point, in 3 seconds the distance traveled is say this one. In 4 seconds the distance traveled is say up to this. in 4 seconds. T is equal to 4 seconds. In t is equal to 4 seconds, the body travel a distance equal to this one from this point to this point. In 3 seconds, the distance travel is equal to this one from this point to this point. In 4th second, what is the distance travel means? From distance travel from 4 in 4 seconds, you subtract the distance travel in 3 seconds. Then that gives the distance travel in 4th second. 4th second means last this 1 second. Similarly, suppose this is equal to say nth second. Distance traveled in n seconds is equal to this one. Distance traveled up to the previous second. Up to the previous second means n minus 1 seconds. Distance traveled in n minus 1 seconds is up to this. Distance traveled in n seconds from the beginning is this one. Then you subtract the distance traveled in n minus 1 seconds from distance traveled in n seconds. That gives the distance traveled in nth second. Distance traveled in nth second. So what is the distance traveled by the body in n seconds means what is the distance traveled in n seconds? This is the distance traveled in n seconds. That is the S1. How we can find distance traveled in n seconds? You substitute T is equal to n in this formula. Then that gives the distance traveled in n seconds. T is equal to n means un plus half a into n square. That is the distance traveled in n seconds. Next, you find the distance traveled in n minus 1 seconds. That is the S2. Distance traveled in n minus 1 seconds means instead of t, you substitute n minus 1 here instead of t in this formula. Then that gives S2. So distance traveled in nth second means distance traveled in nth second means that is equal to distance traveled in n seconds means S1 minus distance traveled up to the previous second means n minus 1 seconds. That is equal to S2. This is so you substitute like this, and if we simplify them directly, you will get this formula. Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half. This is the formula for distance traveled by the body in nth second. Distance traveled by the body in nth second. Okay. Right. Now, so whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration, whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration, in that case, what is the average velocity of the body? Because when the body travel with uniform acceleration, its velocity does not remain constant. It varies with time. So in such case, what is the average velocity of the body? When the body travel with constant acceleration or uniform acceleration, in such case, what is the formula for average velocity? So average velocity, we have to derive the formula for average velocity, V average. So initially a body starts their motion with initial velocity u and uniform acceleration a. After some time, it acquires the velocity, say v, in a time t seconds, and the distance traveled is say s. Distance traveled is s. Okay, then what is the distance traveled? S is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, and time taken is small t, and v is equal to u plus at. No, v is equal to u plus at. Okay, average velocity means total distance traveled in this time, s by total time t. That is the average velocity of a body. Total distance traveled means we can write this value. No, total distance traveled we can write this one. Or in other words, by using this formula, v square minus u square is equal to 2s formula is there. No, whenever the initial velocity is u, final velocity v, uniform acceleration a, distance traveled s, then v square minus u square is equal to 2s formula. We can use this formula also. We can use this formula also. Okay, s means from this formula we can write s means v square minus u square by 2a. Okay, s means v square minus u square by 2a by t. Okay, how we can write this t value? Here t means we see from this formula v is equal to u plus at, or t means v minus u by a is equal to, v minus u by a, that is equal to t. So instead of t, I have written like this. Here a cancel. Here in the numerator, v square minus u square can be written as a plus b into a minus b, we can write now. So v minus u into v plus u whole by 2 into v minus u. So v minus u cancel. Then average velocity is equal to v plus u by 2. So this is the formula. This is the formula holds good whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration. When the body travel with uniform acceleration, in that case, if you are given initial velocity and final velocity, then what is the average velocity means? By using this formula, we can write, we can find the average velocity of a body. Okay. Next. Next, one more point, note point. It is also important. Once based on this formula, one problem was asked in mains. Here, a body travels with uniform acceleration and starts motion with initial velocity u. A body starts motion with initial velocity u, and after some time, it acquires the velocity say v. Okay, it travel with uniform acceleration. It travel with uniform acceleration. While travel through midpoint means suppose this distance is say yes, this distance is also equal to yes, or this total distance is say yes, then it is s by 2, it is s by 2. So this is the midpoint. So A, B, C. So a body starts motion with a velocity u and travel with uniform acceleration, acquires the velocity v at the point C. Then what is the velocity of the body while passing through midway between them? So at this point, what is the velocity of the body? That is the question they asked. So first, you consider the motion from A to B. You consider, note point, you consider the motion from A to B. Okay, now here at A, initial velocity is u, final velocity VB, V is equal to VB, we had to find. Acceleration is say A. It is not given, we imagine A. Distance travel is equal to, definitely, as it is the midpoint, this distance, both are same. This is say yes, then this is also equal to yes. So displacement yes. What is the relation among these four? What is the relation among these four? V square minus U square is equal to 2as, no? V square minus U square is equal to 2a into s. V final velocity here see, when the body travels from A to B, this is the final velocity. So instead of final velocity, you write VB. Square is there, minus initial velocity U square is equal to A into s is yes only. Okay, this is equation 1. When you consider the motion from B to C, when you consider the motion from B to C, okay. So when you consider the motion from B to C, what is the in velocity at the point B? Because when you consider the motion from B to C, whatever the velocity at that point, that is the initial velocity. That's why initial velocity is equal to VB. Final velocity is equal to V. Acceleration, as it travels with uniform acceleration, here or here, acceleration remains same. Distance travel is equal to, this is also equal to S itself. Now, what is the relation means? Again, from V square minus U square is equal to 2as formula. V square means, of course, final velocity V square only, minus initial velocity VB. VB square is equal to 2a into S. So this is another equation. From equations 1 and 2, as on right hand side, it is 2as, it is 2s. That's why you equal these two. Then these two will be equal, no? That's why from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, you see, VB square minus U square is equal to VB square minus U square is equal to, instead of 2as, we can write V square minus VB square. So V square minus VB square. Okay. So if you bring this VB to left, then VB square plus VB square, 2VB square is equal to V square plus U square. V square plus U square. Or VB square is equal to V square plus U square whole by 2. Or VB is equal to square root of V square plus U square by 2. This is the formula for velocity of the body while passing through midpoint between them. It is also true whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration. It is also true when the body travel with uniform acceleration. Okay. Next, here based on this, related to advance, some important note points are there. They are very, very important to do the problems. Okay. Today in study hour, you can do more number of problems based on these relations. Second note point. Second note point. Suppose you are given acceleration of the body varies with time. Once it is given, if acceleration of the body varies with time, according to the equation, A is equal to BT. Acceleration of the body varies with time, or sometimes it may be given A is proportional to T. Acceleration varies continuously with time, linearly. That means A is proportional to T, or A is equal to some constant B into T, where B is the constant. When acceleration varies with the time, according to this equation, the body starts from rest. The body starts from rest. That means initial velocity is equal to V naught. The body starts from rest. Then what is the distance traveled by the body in t seconds? In t seconds, in time t, what is the distance traveled? That is the question they asked. Here, suppose if the acceleration is uniform, that means if acceleration is constant, then what is the distance traveled means directly we can write s is equal to ut plus half h square. But here acceleration is not constant, you see. Acceleration varies with time. So this type of problems are important for advance. Okay. So when acceleration varies with time, according to the equation like this, then what is the distance traveled by the body in t seconds? Initially, the body starts motion with initial velocity v0. That is given. How we can find? So here you see from this equation, say 1, from 1, as acceleration varies with time, this acceleration a can be written as dv by dt, which is equal to b into t. Okay. From this dv is equal to, we can write bt into dt now. Okay. Now, first you find the relation between v and t. Sometimes in the same problem only, what is the velocity of a body after time t seconds, they may ask. What is the velocity of a body after time t seconds? They may ask. So first you write this, as the acceleration is varies with time, it is not constant. In such case, a can be written as dv by dt, which is equal to bt given. From this dv is equal to bt into dt now. Now you do integration on both sides. At a time t is equal to 0, the velocity of the body is v0 because it is the initial velocity. That's why velocity of the body is equal to v0. After time t seconds, the velocity of the body is say v. That is question mark. We have to find. Okay, now here you see integral dv means v. Limits v0 to v is equal to b is constant, to keep aside. Integral t dt means we can write t square by 2. Limits 0 to t. Okay, integral here we see v0 to v. When you substitute the limits, first upper limit you substitute v. Whenever substitute the lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of v, substitute v0. So v minus v0 is equal to b into here upper limit t. Instead of t, you substitute upper limit t square by 2. When you substitute lower limit minus, instead of t, you substitute 0. So 0. Therefore, v is minus v0 is equal to bt square by 2. Or v is equal to v0 plus bt square by 2. We can write now. This is equation 2. So it is the velocity of a body at any instant of time t. Here that is one more question. So in this way we had to find if the acceleration is not constant, it varies with time. In such case, we can write a is equal to dv by dt. And after time t seconds, what is the velocity means? By this method, we had to find the velocity after time t seconds. Okay, but it is not the question. What is the distance traveled in a time t? They ask. So again, from this formula, v can be written as ds by dt. No, v can be written as ds by dt. Okay. This note point. Vidyadhar, b is constant. Here b is given constant. B is constant. Here Vidyadhar, again I will explain. You see, acceleration varies with time according to the equation a is equal to bt. It is given in the problem only. Here acceleration varies with time. Acceleration varies with time t according to the equation. According to equation a is equal to bt, where b is constant, positive constant, that is given. Okay, then what is the velocity of a body after time t seconds? What is the distance traveled after time t seconds? That is the question they asked. But the body starts motion with initial velocity v not given. So in such case, after time t seconds, what is the velocity means? As a is not constant, which varies with time, a can be written as dv by dt. As it is variable, it is variable కాబట్టి మనం ఇట్లా రాయగలం. As it is variable, we can write dv by dt. Otherwise, we have to keep a constant only. Okay. So a is equal to dv by dt. From this, dv is equal to, do cross multiplication, bt into dt. Now you do integration on both sides. You do integration on both sides. At t is equal to 0, whatever the velocity, that is the initial velocity. After time t seconds, what is the velocity v? So we have to do integration like this. Then we got v is equal to v0 plus bt square by 2. Okay, Vidyadhar, okay, are you followed? No, v0. Initial velocity v0 is given in the problem. Already I described, no. Here the body starts motion with initial velocity v0 and acceleration a, which varies with time t. According to the equation a is equal to bt. That is given in the problem only. Okay, Lochan. Initial velocity v suffix 0, v0. V naught is given in the problem only. Okay, Lochan. V naught is given in the problem only. Okay, now V is equal to, here this can be written as ds by dt. This is equal to V naught plus bt square by 2. Okay, therefore we need ds only. So we bring all distance terms aside and time terms aside. So ds is equal to V naught plus bt square by 2 into dt. Because this V naught is constant only, it is the time term. That's why you keep this here only and ds term here. Now we do integration on both sides. At t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, distance traveled 0. After time t seconds, what is the distance traveled? That is the question they asked. After time t seconds, what is the distance traveled? Okay. Integral ds means yes. When you substitute the limits from 0 to s, here, integral v naught plus bt square by 2 into dt. Here you see, first you split them. Integral v naught into dt plus integral bt square by 2 into dt. Integral v naught dt plus integral bt square by 2 into dt. You split them. You split them like this. Limit same, 0 to t, 0 to t. So therefore, first you substitute upper limit. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of s, you have substitute 0, which is equal to. V naught is constant, you keep aside. Integral dt means t. Limits 0 to t. Plus bt square by 2. T is variable. B by 2 is constant, you keep aside. Integral t square dt means we can write t cube by 3. Limits 0 to t. So it is s is equal to v naught into, instead of t you substitute t only, plus b by 2 into, first upper limit you substitute. Instead of t you substitute t cube by 3. Before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. When you substitute 0 instead of t, you will get 0 only. That's why b by 2 into t cube by 3 minus 0 you will get. Therefore, s is equal to v naught t plus b by 6 into t cube we can write. This is the distance traveled by the body in t seconds. It is the distance traveled by the body in t seconds. In this way, we have to derive. Okay. Yeah, they asked to find the distance traveled by the body. So whenever the body travel along the straight line, distance traveled and displacement both are same. Okay. When the body travel along the straight line in forward direction, in such case, the distance traveled and displacement both are same. They asked the distance traveled by the body. Okay. Because in the formula for velocity, as positive symbol addition only there, we have to do like this method. Suppose if subtraction is there, in such case, after what time? Suppose here, okay, very good. That is also one more point. Suppose in this formula, if any minus symbol is there, in such case, after what time their velocity becomes 0? First, we have to find. Suppose here, as long as the body traveling this direction, velocity decreases, and after some time t seconds, if the velocity becomes 0 here, and from that point, again, if the body travel in this direction, then after what time velocity becomes 0, up to that you find the distance traveled. Then in the remaining time, you find the distance traveled. You add these two, that gives the total distance traveled. Suppose if they ask the displacement, then we can do directly like this. But here addition symbol is there that represents the body continuously travel along the same straight line in forward direction. In such case, the body has distance traveled and displacement both are same in the given interval of time. Okay. Okay, now Lochan. Right. Next. So this is one more note point. Next, note 3. Note point 3. Suppose here a particle move with initial velocity v naught and retardation beta v. A body starts motion with velocity, with initial velocity v naught, with a body starts motion with velocity v naught and retardation retardation beta into v, where beta is constant. Retardation beta v. Okay, then what is the distance traveled by the body? Then distance traveled in t seconds. Distance traveled by the body in a time t seconds, in a time t, is equal to dash. What is the distance traveled by the body in a time t seconds is dash. How we can do? We are given a body starts motion with velocity v naught, means initial velocity is v naught given. But retardation of the body is beta v. Retardation means negative acceleration. That means acceleration is equal to minus beta v, no? Retardation beta v means acceleration is equal to minus beta v, because this beta v is given as retardation. That's why acceleration A is equal to minus beta v. Here it represents the acceleration of a body varies with velocity. That means acceleration in this case is not constant. Acceleration varies with velocity. So in this case, what is the distance traveled by the body in a time t seconds? Previously, in previous problem, acceleration varies with time, but here the acceleration varies with velocity, but negative acceleration. That is given. Okay, it is also very, very important. It was asked in advance. Okay, now to find the distance traveled, first we have to find the velocity time relation. Velocity time relation. A can be written as acceleration varies with velocity. We know A can be written as dv by dt. That is equal to minus beta into v. Minus beta into v. So from this, first we can find the relation between v and t directly, no? From this we can find, because here answer is asked in terms of t, because in the options answer is given in terms of t and v naught, not in terms of v. That's why we have to obtain the relation between s and t only. Okay, v should not be there, so we have to eliminate v. That's why first you find relation between v and t. So you write all v terms aside, remaining terms aside. dv by v is equal to minus beta into dt. We can write, no? dv you keep here only. Okay, by v you write minus beta into dt. You do cross multiplication. Now you do integration on both sides. At t is equal to 0, velocity of the body is equal to initial velocity given, no? That's why initial velocity v naught. After time t, what is the velocity of the body? Because we are integrating with respect to velocity only, no? How we can write dv by v? Tell me. What is integral dv by v? What is integral dv by v? Tell me. What is the integral dv by v? Yes, very good. Ln v. Natural logarithm of v. Limits v naught to v. Very good. Is equal to minus beta is constant. You keep aside. Integral dt means t. Limits 0 to t. 0 to t. Okay. Now, first you substitute upper limit. Ln v. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Minus ln of. Instead of v, substitute v naught. So ln v naught. Okay. Is equal to minus beta into, you substitute upper limit t, minus when you substitute lower limit t is equal to 0, you will get 0. That's why beta into t only you will get. Here this can be written as ln v by v naught, no? Ln v minus ln v naught means we can write ln v by v naught, because this can be written as ln a by b is equal to ln a minus ln b. Just like here, ln v minus ln v naught can be written as ln v by v naught. That is equal to minus beta into t. So from this, how we can write v by v naught is equal to, in order to eliminate this ln function, natural logarithmic function, we can write exponential power, no? E to the power of minus beta t. Okay. So ln v by v naught is equal to minus beta t, or v by v naught is equal to exponential to the power of minus beta t. When you take natural logarithm on both sides, then you will get ln v by v naught is equal to ln e to the power of minus beta t. Ln e to the power of minus beta t means minus beta t into ln e base e, that is equal to 1. That's why minus beta t you will get. That's why we can write this equation like this. Now from this, v is equal to v naught into e to the power of minus beta into t. This is equation 1. So suppose in the same problem only, after time t seconds, what is the velocity of the body? If they ask, then we can derive this one. But they asked the distance traveled by the body in a time t seconds. That's why to find the distance traveled, you write v. Here v is not constant because v varies with time. That's why v can be written as ds by dt. That is equal to v naught e to the power of minus beta t. Do cross multiplication. ds is equal to v naught e to the power of minus beta into t into dt. Now you do integration on both sides, because ds is there. We have to find s. From ds to find s, from small distance travel ds, in order to find the total distance travel s, we have to do integration. So you do integration on both sides. Okay. So limits, what are the limits? At t is equal to 0, distance travel 0. After time t seconds, distance travel is say s. S is equal to question mark. Integral ds means s only. Limits 0 to s is equal to v naught. V naught is constant, you keep aside. Integral e to the power of minus beta t dt means, while doing the integration of exponential function, first you write exponential function as it is. Okay. After integration of exponential function, whatever the coefficient of this variable t, you have to write that coefficient of variable minus beta t, you have to divide with this minus beta. Coefficient of t is minus beta, no? So we have to divide with minus beta. Limits is 0 to t. Therefore, instead of for s, you substitute the upper limit s minus 0. That means 0 is equal to v naught by v naught into, okay, minus beta you write outside. Minus beta you write outside because it is constant, no? Integral e to the power of minus beta t 0 to t. First upper limit e to the power of minus beta t. Instead of t, you substitute t only. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of t, you write 0. E to the power of minus beta into 0 means 0. E to the power of 0 means 1. So you write 1. Therefore, distance traveled s minus 0 means s is equal to v naught. Just you write this minus sign, you bring this minus sign into the bracket. Then v naught by beta into v naught by beta into. When you write this minus sign inside the bracket, then 1 minus something you will get. 1 minus e to the power of minus beta into t you will get. This is the relation. So it is the distance traveled by the body in a time t seconds. In this way, you will get distance traveled by the body. Okay. Next, one more point. Okay, these are the some integration methods. Okay, next some graphical methods are also there. Okay, next, note 5. Suppose we are given displacement time graph. We are given displacement time graph like this. Displacement time graph like this. It is a straight line. Okay, then how we can find the velocity of the body from this graph? The displacement of a body varies with time according to the graph like this. It is given like this. How we can find the velocity of the body? How we can find velocity of the body? Tell me. How we can find the velocity of the body? Yeah, very good. Because slope of the body, slope of the body means tan theta, that is equal to y-axis, physical quantity taken on y-axis by physical quantity taken along x-axis. That is equal to y means s by x means along x-axis I have taken time. S by t, displacement of time means velocity, no? That's why it gives velocity. So slope of the displacement time graph gives velocity. Here, as displacement time graph is a straight line, at any point, suppose at this point, if you want to find the velocity of a body, at this point, you draw a tangent to this graph. When you draw the tangent at this point or at this point or at t is equal to 0 also, you will get the same tangent lies along the line. That's why the slope of the tangent at any point on the straight line remains same. That indicates the slope of the straight line remains constant at any point. That indicates velocity is constant. What is that velocity? Velocity v is equal to slope of the given graph. Slope of the given graph means slope is equal to s by t we can write, or ds by dt we can write. That is equal to tan theta, no? Slope of displacement time graph can be written as ds by dt. That is equal to tan theta. Here theta will be given. Therefore, velocity of the body is equal to, we can write tan theta. Here, once in mains, it is given that in case of two bodies, the displacement time graphs are given such that it is first body, it is for second body. For first body, displacement time graph is a straight line, makes an angle 30 degree with a horizontal. Okay, next, the displacement time graph of the second body makes an angle 45 degree with horizontal. Then what is the ratio between the velocity of the first body, velocity of the second body? What is the ratio between velocity of the first body and second body? They asked. As displacement time graph is a straight line, then slope of the straight line gives velocity. No, velocity is equal to slope of the straight line means tangent of angle made by straight line with horizontal, that is equal to tan theta. It is the general formula. Therefore, V1 by V2 is equal to, for in case of first body, the angle made by this straight line with x-axis 30, that's why tan 30, by for second body tan angle made by this straight line with the time axis is equal to 45 degree, that's why tan 45. Tan 30 means we can write 1 by root 3 now. Tan 45 means 1. Therefore, V1 by V2 is equal to 1 by root 3, or V1 is to V2 is equal to 1 is to root 3. This is the ratio between the velocities of the two bodies. It was given in mains. It was given in, yeah, it was given in mains. Tan theta, yeah, tan theta 1 by tan theta 2. It is say theta 1, it is say theta 2. Therefore, V1 by V2 means V1 by V2 is equal to, we can write velocity of the body from displacement time graph means the tangent of the slope of the body by tangent of theta 2. That gives the ratio between the velocities of the two bodies. So it is also very, very important. Okay, next. Eighth one, velocity varies with time according to the graph like this. It is given like this. Velocity of a body varies with time. Velocity of a body varies with time like this. That means at first when time increases, velocity also increases and reaches a maximum value here. That maximum value is given as V0. After that, when time increases, velocity decreases and becomes zero at certain point. After here, at what time the velocity becomes zero, that time is capital T given. Then what is the average velocity of a body? They asked. Average velocity means, actually the formula for average velocity means total displacement by total time. No, total displacement by total time. Total displacement by total time is the average velocity of a body. What is the total displacement? What is the total displacement? From velocity time graph, how we can find the total displacement of a body? What is the total displacement of a body? Okay, how we can find the total displacement of the body from velocity time graph? Area, yes, very good. So area under here, suppose they ask the average velocity up to capital T seconds means we had find up to this, or up to this time only. If they ask up to this only, we had find the area. But they asked the total average velocity during the entire motion means up to this we had find. So total displacement means total area, total area by total time. Area means, you see, it is the triangle. So area of the triangle means half base is equal to capital T. Because it is capital T, it is 0. So T minus 0 T into height. Height is equal to, height of the triangle is equal to V0, maximum velocity, V0, by total time means capital T. TT cancels. So V0 by 2. It is the average velocity of a body. Okay. Next, the velocity of a body varies with the time according to the equation. Another problem, ninth one. Another note point. The velocity of a body varies with time. Here it is the velocity of a body that varies with time according to the graph like this. It was previously asked bit. Initially at t is equal to 0, the velocity of the body is given as 10 meter per second. At t is equal to 0, whatever the velocity of the body, that is the initial velocity. Okay. After t is equal to 11 seconds, here this is the velocity time graph. After t is equal to 11 seconds, that means at this point time t is equal to 11 seconds. At t is equal to 11 seconds, what is the velocity of the body? That is the question they asked. After t is equal to 11 seconds, what is the velocity of the body? That is the question they asked. Here, how we can find after t is equal to 11 seconds, what is the velocity of the body? How we can find? In 11 seconds, we can find the area under the graph now. In 11 seconds, we can find the area under the graph. Area under the graph gives, what is the area under the graph? That is equal to displacement. Area under the graph gives displacement, no? So at this point, in order to find the velocity, area under the graph gives area. Area is equal to total area. Total area gives net displacement of your body. Okay, that is equal to, as you find the area of the graph up to 11 seconds, then you will get the net displacement of the body in 11 seconds. That net displacement of the body in 11 seconds by 11, that gives the velocity of the body at that point. Okay, so net displacement is equal to area under the graph, half base is equal to 11 seconds into height is equal to 10. Okay, this is equal to 55. Therefore, velocity at that point is equal to, in 11 seconds, it is the displacement of the body. So displacement of the body in 11 seconds is equal to 55, or yes, by time taken is t. In 11 seconds, what is the velocity they asked? So in 11 seconds, what is the displacement? That is equal to 55 meter by time, here 11 seconds. Time 11 seconds. Okay, that is equal to 5 meter per second. No, it is the average velocity. Sorry, it is the average velocity of your body. It is the average velocity of your body. Here they asked, what is the velocity of your body? Here they asked, what is the velocity of your body? Okay. No, here only they asked the velocity of the body at this point only. They asked the velocity of the body at that point only. Sorry, here they asked only velocity. At this point, at t is equal to 0, velocity is 0. No, velocity is 0 only. Because area under the graph gives displacement of the body. Area under the graph is equal to displacement. But they asked the velocity of the body at 11 seconds means, as it is the velocity time graph, velocity of the body at this point means, at this point, what is the velocity? 0. That's why at t is equal to 11 seconds, velocity of the body is 0. What is the displacement of the body in 11 seconds means, it is the displacement of the body in 11 seconds. What is the average velocity of the body during entire motion? Average velocity of the body during entire motion is equal to total displacement by total time. Total displacement by total time. Total displacement is 55 by total time 11. That is equal to 5. 5 meter per second is the average velocity of the body during entire its motion. Okay. Next. Suppose we are given acceleration time graph. Acceleration time graph is given. The initial acceleration of the body. Here the body starts motion. Here the initial acceleration of the body is 10 meter per second square. After 11 seconds, the acceleration of the body becomes 0. At this point, what is the velocity of the body? That is the question they asked. Here acceleration time graph is given. Okay, here very clear. Whenever the time increases, acceleration of the body gradually decreases and becomes 0 at this point. At t is equal to 11 seconds, acceleration of the body becomes 0. At that time, what is the velocity of the body? Here at t is equal to 0, what is the initial velocity of the body means? That is 0. Because the body starts from rest. That's why at t is equal to 0, initial velocity of the body is given as 0. A body starts from rest means initial velocity is 0. But having initial acceleration 10 meter per second square. With the time, the acceleration gradually decreases and becomes 0 at t is equal to 11 seconds. So at t is equal to 11 seconds, you see, the body starts from rest, but it travels with certain acceleration. No? Of course, the acceleration may decrease, but it is having with some acceleration. No? Before it reaches the point here, so that time is equal to 11 seconds. As the body travel with whatever the acceleration, the body travel with the acceleration. That's why velocity goes on increase, and at t is equal to 11 seconds, velocity becomes maximum. So what is the maximum velocity? At this point, whatever the velocity, that is the maximum velocity. That is how much? To find the maximum velocity at this point, what is the area under AT graph gives? Tell me. Area under AT graph gives what? Area under AT graph gives what? Here in this diagram, acceleration versus time graph is given. Acceleration versus time graph is given. from this acceleration time graph, what is the area under the graph? Very good. Velocity or change in velocity. So area under the graph is equal to A into T. Area under the graph is equal to A into T. That is equal to V minus U, which is equal to, what is the area under the graph? Half, base means 11, height means 10. That is equal to 55. It is the area under the graph. That is numerically equal to A into T. But from V is equal to, since V is equal to U plus AT, from this formula, AT is equal to V minus U, you can write now. So area under the graph is equal to Y into X. Y means A, X means T, A into T. But from this formula, AT is equal to V minus U. So V minus U is equal to, area under the graph is equal to 55 we got. So V minus initial velocity is given 0, that's why 0 is equal to 55. Therefore, at t is equal to 11 second, at t is equal to 11 second, what is the velocity of the body means 55 meter per second. In this way, we can find by calculating the area under the graph. It is one method. Or in other words, sometimes they may ask, what is the velocity of the body at this point? What is the velocity of the body at this particular time? At this particular time, at a different instance of time, if they ask the velocity, how we can find? Always, it is not possible to find the area under the graph directly, because if area under the graph at this time, what is the velocity of the body means here time will be given. Up to this area under the graph, we have to find, make them equal to V minus U. From that we have to calculate. That gives the velocity at this point. At this point, what is the velocity means by following same procedure we can find. In another way, in second method, first you write the relation between, as the acceleration varies with the time, according to the graph like this, you find the relation between A and T. You write the relation between A and T, or you write the equation which gives the relation between A and T. How we can write? Because AT graph is a straight line. That means it is just like a straight line equation. No? What is the straight line equation? Y is equal to mx plus straight line equation. Y is equal to mx plus c. Along y-axis, as we have taken A, instead of y, you write A is equal to slope. M means slope, no? Slope means as the graph is like this, angle made by the straight line with the positive x-axis more than 90 means it is having negative slope. That's why minus. Suppose this angle is say theta, then tan theta you write. Into x means along x-axis I have taken time. That's why into t plus constant c. So A is equal to minus. What about tan theta? Tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. Opposite is here it is the acceleration graph now. So acceleration here is 10, here it is 0. 10 minus 0, 10. That is 10 minus 0. Final acceleration here minus initial acceleration. Okay, 10. As already we have taken minus sign, again you should not write final value minus initial value, should not write. Just like you find the minus, magnitude of this one means 10 minus 0 by magnitude of this one, opposite by adjacent now, 11 minus 0. It is tan theta into t plus c. So A is equal to minus 10 by 11 t plus c. It is equation 1. At t is equal to 0, acceleration is 10 now. From the graph, at t is equal to 0, acceleration is 10. So at t is equal to 0, you write acceleration is equal to 10. You substitute here, A is equal to 10 minus 10 by 11 into t0 means 0 plus c. Therefore, c is equal to 10 now. You substitute here. Therefore, A is equal to minus 10 by 11 t plus c means 10. This is equation 2. So this is the acceleration time relation. So it gives the relation between acceleration and time. Now we need the velocity of your body at any time. To find the velocity of your body at any time, here you see acceleration varies with time means acceleration is not constant, it varies with time. That's why it is the acceleration of a body at any instant of time t. That means it is called instantaneous acceleration. Okay, so this acceleration A can be written as dv by dt. That is equal to minus 10t by 11 plus c, or that is equal to, you do cross multiplication, dv you keep here only, that is equal to minus 10t by 11. Sorry, what is the c here? C, it is not c, no, it is 10. Okay, so plus 10 into dt. Okay, so for a small change in the time, The change in velocity is this one. Therefore, what is the velocity of a body at any instant of time? Means we have to do integration. So dv is equal to, we got minus 10t by 11 plus 10 into dt. Now we do integration on both sides. At t is equal to 0, the velocity of the body, because the body starts from rest, that is given in the problem only. Here u is equal to 0. That's why at t is equal to 0, initial velocity is 0. After time t seconds, what is the velocity of a body? V. So from this, you'll get the relation between v and t. Integral dv means v only, limits 0 to v. Here, minus 10 by 11 is constant, you keep aside. Integral t into dt means t square by 2 plus integral 10 into dt. 10 is constant, you keep aside. Integral dt means t, limits 0 to t. First you substitute upper limit, v, minus, before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. V means 0 is equal to, here, minus 10 by 22 into t square plus 10 into t. When you substitute upper limit, you will get like this. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of t, 0, 0. That means you'll get 0 only. Therefore, v is equal to minus 10 t square by 22 plus 10 into t. It is the velocity of a body at any time t. Velocity of a body at any time t. Here, previously we got this one. No? What is the maximum velocity of the body? Means from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 11 seconds. Whatever the acceleration, but the body is having acceleration. That's why the velocity of the body goes on increase, and at t is equal to 11 seconds, velocity becomes maximum. So if they ask maximum velocity at t is equal to 11 seconds, the velocity v is equal to v max, that is equal to question mark. Instead of t, you substitute 11 here, then v is equal to minus 10 by 22 into 11 square plus 10 into t means 11. Okay, here this is equal to minus 10 by 22 into 11 into 11 plus 110. 11 2s are 2 5s are. So that is equal to minus 55 plus 110. Therefore, v is equal to 55 meter per second. We got same now. Of course, at this 10 is equal to t is equal to 11 seconds. What is the velocity? Means directly we can find by this method. At any middle, what is the velocity at this time? At this time, like that, if they ask, better to derive the formula for velocity in terms of time like this. Formula for velocity in terms of time. Then at t is equal to 2 seconds, what is the velocity? At t is equal to 3 seconds, what is the velocity? At 11 seconds, what is the velocity? Directly we can do. So we have to follow this method for that. Okay. No, first method is very easy to find the velocity at t is equal to 11 seconds. Suppose they ask the velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds here. After this, we have to find the area under the graph and make them equal to v minus u. Then v we have to calculate. At this point, at t is equal to 6 seconds. What is the velocity? Means up to this time, we have to find the area under the graph and make them equal to v minus u. In this way, we can do. So from this, if you find the v value, then you will get velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds. Up to 6 seconds, when you find the area under the graph and make them equal to v minus u, that v is equal to velocity at this point you will get. By this method also we can have, because this method is very, very useful for doing advanced problems. That's why I taught this method also. Okay, this is also very, very important. So this is about horizontal motion. In the last class also, I said some formulas in terms of alpha, beta. A train starts from rest, moving with uniform acceleration alpha for certain time, and then travel with deceleration beta, and finally comes to rest. What is the total distance traveled? We got alpha beta t by 2 into alpha plus beta. I think we got some formulas we got. Okay, what is the maximum velocity? What is the average velocity? We derived. All those formulas are very, very important. Next, whenever the body travel with uniform acceleration, in such case, what is the ratio among the distances traveled in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and so on? What is the ratio? What is the ratio among the distances traveled in first second, second second, third second, fourth second, and so on? What is the ratio between the distances traveled? Already we derived those formulas. Okay, definitely. Shivaram, definitely I will upload in YouTube. Okay. First method, Nani. First method, in this first method, at t is equal, what is the maximum velocity they asked? So up to t is equal to 11 seconds, whatever the acceleration of a body, of course, the acceleration gradually decreases, but still there is some acceleration. That's why velocity of the body goes on increase up to t is equal to 11 seconds. So at t is equal to 11 seconds, what is the velocity of the body? In such a way, they asked, if they ask as area under AT graph means A into T. A into T means according to V is equal to U plus AT formula. AT is equal to V minus U, no? That's why area under the graph is equal to AT, which is equal to V minus U. Area under the graph is equal to area. Here, as they asked the velocity of the body at T, maximum velocity means at T is equal to 11 seconds. At T is equal to 11 seconds, in order to find the velocity, up to T is equal to 11 seconds, you find the area. That area is equal to this one. That is equal to V minus U. At that time, when you find the area up to this final velocity is the velocity at 11 seconds. If you find the area under the graph up to 2 seconds, then in this formula, if you find the area up to this graph, then this velocity V gives the velocity at T is equal to 2 seconds. In this way, we can find. Nani, okay? Minimum velocity means this only minimum velocity starts from rest. That is the minimum velocity, 0. As the body starts from rest, this is only the minimum velocity. Okay. Uday Krishna. This is only minimum velocity because after that the velocity goes on increase. No. Okay. Right. Next, freely fall, acceleration due to gravity. Now. Okay, next, acceleration due to gravity. Suppose when a body is dropped from certain height, because of Earth attracts the body in downward direction, it comes down with certain acceleration. That acceleration with which the body falls freely under gravity only. And that body must fall because of gravitational force of attraction only. No other forces acts on them. Such type of body is called freely falling body under gravity. Then the acceleration with which the body falls freely under gravity or due to gravitational force of attraction, that acceleration is called acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So the acceleration of a freely falling body, the acceleration of a freely falling body under gravity, freely falling body under gravity is called freely falling body under gravity is called acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Here, this acceleration due to gravity is always directed vertically downwards. Acceleration due to gravity eppudu kuda vertically downwards, ante towards the center of the earth untundi. Acceleration due to gravity is always towards the center of the earth. Okay. Here on the surface of the earth, suppose this is say earth. Of course, here the earth rotates about the polar axis. It is the north pole, it is a south pole. Then the line passing through two poles of the earth is called polar axis. About the polar axis, earth rotates. Whenever the earth rotates, here the earth is bulged at this place. Whenever the earth rotates like this, perpendicular to the polar axis, the surface of the earth is raised. That means it is bulged. So earth is bulged. Here the plane passing through center of the earth and perpendicular to this axis of rotation or polar axis, that plane is called equatorial plane. So this is the equatorial plane. Equatorial plane. So at this equator, acceleration due to gravity, G is equal to approximately 9.78 like this. At the poles, the acceleration due to gravity is maximum, which is equal to G is equal to 9.82 like that, 82 meter per second square like that. Here it is 9.78 meter per second square. That means from the equator, when you move towards the pole, the acceleration due to gravity gradually increases on the surface of the earth and reaches maximum value at the poles. So from this, it is clear that the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth is not constant. It varies from place to place. So what is the average acceleration due to gravity? That average acceleration due to gravity is taken as 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of the earth. So మనం ప్రాబ్లం చేసేప్పుడు వాటికి యాక్సిలరేషన్ డ్యూ టు గ్రావిటీ ఆన్ ది సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎర్త్ మనం కాన్స్టెంట్ గా తీసుకుని చేస్తామండి. లేదు వాడు ఏదైనా వాల్యూ ఇస్తే ఆ వాల్యూ తీసుకుని చేయాలి. So we take the average acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth, which is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. But while doing the problems, if small g is not small g, for simplification, for calculation, simple calculations, generally we use g is equal to 10 meter per second square. Yeah, gravitational force. Because of gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle accelerates towards the center of the earth. Such acceleration is called acceleration due to gravity. Aditya. Okay. Okay. So sometimes for simple calculations, in order to avoid the tricky calculations, we use g is equal to 10 meter per second square also. Okay. Suppose if they mention g is equal to 9.8, you have to use 9.8 only. Otherwise, by using g is equal to 10 meter per second square, if calculation is simple, then we can use this g is equal to 10 meter per second square as the acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Now, freely falling body. Freely falling body under gravity. Freely falling body under gravity. It's a very, very important one. Freely falling body, vertically projected body. So what about the freely falling body? Suppose from certain height from the surface of the earth. It is the surface of the earth, Earth's surface. From the surface of the earth, from certain height, say small h. Small h is very small, by far less than radius of the earth. Radius of the earth is a capital R. So the height from which the body is dropped is very small compared with radius of the earth. In such cases, as long as the body comes down because of gravitational force of attraction or because of earth attraction, the acceleration due to gravity g acts on the body remains constant throughout the motion. In such cases only we are discussing. Okay. So here, whenever the body is released, at the instant, you see, whenever the body is released, whenever the body is released, it has no velocity. That's why velocity is equal to 0. But because of acceleration due to gravity g, the body comes down with acceleration a is equal to g. So as long as the body comes down with acceleration g, then its velocity goes on increase, and before it reaches the ground or before it reaches the surface here through a before it travel a distance h in downwards direction, its velocity becomes say v. It acquires the velocity say v. Okay. Now what is the relation among them? Before it reaches the ground, the distance traveled by the body in vertically downwards direction is equal to h. That is the height from which the body is dropped. Okay. Now what is the relation among them? Already we know, in case here it is also, of course it is not the horizontal motion, but it is along the straight line motion only. No, in previous case also, so far we discussed the horizontal motion along straight line. That is also the motion along a straight line. It is also motion along a straight line. That's why we can use those equations of motion here also. In such case, v is equal to u plus at is there. Here, this equation becomes v is equal to u means 0. In case of freely falling body, whenever the body is released, in such case, initial velocity is 0, acceleration is plus z into t. So in case of a freely falling body, after a time t seconds, what is the velocity acquired means v is equal to g into t. Next, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. In this formula, u is 0, a is equal to plus z. That's why v square minus 0 is equal to 2a means z into s. S means h, 2z into h. Okay, next, from s is equal to ut plus half h square. In case of a freely falling body, u0, a is equal to plus z. That's why s is equal to 0 plus half g into t square. We can write the formulas like this. Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half. It is the general formula. In case of freely falling body, u0, a is equal to plus z. That's why Sn is equal to 0 plus g into n minus half. Okay. These are the equations of motion in case of a freely falling body. This is the equation of motion in case of a freely falling body. So in case of freely falling body, what is the time of descent? What is the time of descent of a freely falling body? Time of descent, T suffix D. Time of descent means time taken by a freely falling body to reach the ground from certain height. H height నుంచి డ్రాప్ చేసిన బాడీ సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎర్త్ ని రీచ్ కావడానికి ఎంత టైం పడుతుందో ఆ టైం ని టైమ్ ఆఫ్ డిసెంట్ అంటాం. హౌ వి కెన్ ఫైండ్? సో యాజ్ ద బాడీ ఇస్ డ్రాప్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ పాయింట్, ఇనిషియల్ వెలాసిటీ 0, acceleration as it is freely falling body under gravity, acceleration is called plus z. Time taken to reach this ground is equal to time of descent, that is equal to question mark. Distance traveled or displacement of the body before reaches the ground. What is the distance traveled means the height from which the body is dropped, that is equal to distance traveled. That's why it is equal to h. What is the relation among them? From s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means h, u0 plus half a means g into t square means td square. Therefore, td square is equal to, do cross multiplication, 2h by z implies td is equal to root 2h by z. No? This is the formula for time of descent. So when a body is dropped, no, u is the initial velocity, no? Rajkumar, u is the initial velocity. In case of a freely falling body, u is equal to 0, no? Because it is dropped. That's why initially it has no velocity. That's why u is equal to 0. But whenever it reaches the ground, it travels a distance equal to small h. It travels a distance equal to small h. That's why s is equal to h. As it is freely falling under gravity, acceleration a is equal to g. But as it is dropped freely, so initially it has no velocity in our hand, but it is released. Because of gravity, its velocity goes on increase. That's why initial velocity is 0. So when okay, r is the radius of the earth, no, because it is the earth. R is the radius of the earth here. R is the radius of the earth. R is the radius of the earth. It is about 6400 kilometer. Radius of the earth is about 6400 kilometer. Okay. Okay, you can have in different methods also. We can find this in different methods also. Okay. Next, what is the velocity of a body? Velocity of a freely falling body before it reaches the ground or before it travel a distance equal to h downwards. So initial velocity is 0. Velocity acquired we had find. Initial velocity is 0. Acceleration plus z. Distance traveled s is equal to h. What is the velocity? What is the velocity? What is the relation among them? V square minus u square is equal to 2as. From this formula, v means v only, we have to find. U means 0, 2, a means z, s means h. So v is equal to root 2gh, no? V is equal to root 2gh. Therefore, when a body is dropped from a height h, before it reaches the ground, what is the velocity means? V is proportional, v is equal to root 2gh. Suppose when a body is dropped from a height h1, velocity acquired v1. When it is dropped from a height h2, what is the velocity? So v is equal to root 2gh. In this formula, 2g is constant. That's why v is proportional to root h, no? Therefore, when a body is dropped from a height h1, velocity acquired is v1. So v1 is proportional to root h1. When a body is released from a height h2, the velocity acquired before reaches the ground is say v2. Then v2 is proportional to root h2. Divide these two. v1 by v2 is equal to root of h1 by h2. This is the ratio between the velocities of the bodies, velocities of the body before it travel a distance h1 and h2 downwards. H1 and h2 downwards. Okay. Next. Okay. Next one. In case of a freely falling body, a body is dropped from a height h. As it is dropped, its initial velocity is 0. When it travels a distance h downwards, before reaching the ground, what is the velocity of a body? What is the velocity of a body? In terms of time taken by the body to reach the ground is a small t. So you see, in case of freely falling body, initial velocity is 0, acceleration plus z. As it is comes down, its velocity goes on increase. That's why it is having positive acceleration here. Okay, after time t seconds, when it comes down to a distance equal to h, what is the velocity of a body? U, A, T, V are known. Then what is the relation among them? V is equal to U plus AT. V means V only, U means 0 plus A means G time T. So V is equal to GT. So when a body is dropped from certain height, time taken by the body to reach the ground is equal to V. Then what is the velocity of a body means GT. Next, if you are given U, A and H, H means distance traveled by freely falling body before reaches the ground is h. H is the height from which the body is dropped. Then what is the velocity? From v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square means we had to find v square, minus u means 0, 2, a means plus z, s means h. So v is equal to, we can write root 2gh, or v is equal to g into t. In this case, what is the average velocity of a body? Whenever the body is dropped freely before reaches the ground, what is the average velocity of a body? Because before reaches the ground, velocity of the body goes on increase with time, and before reaches the ground, it acquires a velocity equal to root 2gh, because it acquires the maximum velocity, that is equal to root 2gh. What is the average velocity in this case? So in this case, average velocity is equal to total distance traveled by total time. Total distance traveled is h by total time t, because time taken by the body to travel from this point to this point is given as t, h by t. How we can find this h by, how we can find this h by t value? Tell me. Because h is given, t is given. Okay, h by t. Only t is given. U we know, a is z. Then what is the average velocity in this case? H is not given. So how we can find? H is not given. How we can find? You see, from this formula, root 2gh is equal to gt, or 2gh is equal to g square t square, we can write now, or g square cancel. Okay, therefore h is equal to, we can write t square gt square by 2, we can write. Or in other words, in a time t seconds, whenever the body reaches the point here, reaches the ground here, what is the distance travel? Such distance travel s is equal to h, which is equal to general formula ut plus half at square. U means, in case of freely falling body, initial velocity 0 into t 0 plus half, a means z into t square. S is equal to this one. Therefore, you substitute here, v average is equal to s means half gt square by t. Okay, therefore t square cancel. So gt by 2, it is the average velocity of a body. Okay, next, how we can write in terms of h? Suppose you are given h value, how we can find the average velocity? So in such case, average velocity is equal to, t is not given. In such case, t is not given, but only h is given. So average velocity is equal to h by t, because before reaches the ground, the distance traveled is equal to h, height from which the body is dropped. That's why s is equal to h. Time is not given, but we have to find the time. You see, from this formula, time is equal to, here you see, t h is equal to gt square by 2. What is t value? Root 2h by 0. That's why h by t means, from this formula, h is equal to gt square by 2, or t is equal to, we can write root 2h by 0. You substitute here root 2h by z. That is equal to h into root g by 2h. That is equal to, you bring this h also inside root, then that is equal to g h square by 2h. H square cancel. Therefore, average velocity is equal to, we can write root gh by 2. In all cases, we used the same formula, total distance by total time only. If time is given to reach the ground, then average velocity formula is gt by 2. If h is given, average velocity is equal to root gh by 2. In this way, we can find the average velocity of a body. Okay. Class work I will keep in WhatsApp group. Okay, based on these concepts, you can do. Next. Right. Next one note point here. A body is dropped from certain height. A body is dropped from certain height. Okay. A stone is dropped from a tower, travel half of the height of the tower during the last second. Okay. Here you see, suppose here one body is dropped. So as it is dropped, initial velocity 0, acceleration a is equal to plus g. Suppose it takes the time taken by this body to reach the ground is say t. Then what's the last second? Time taken by the body to reach the ground is say t. Then what is the last second? Time taken by the body to reach the ground is equal to t. Then what is the last second? Suppose time taken by the body to reach the ground is say 5 seconds. Then last second means 5th second, no? ఇక్కడ ఈ బాడీని కొంత హైట్ నుంచి డ్రాప్ చేసినప్పుడు అది గ్రౌండ్ తీసుకోవడానికి పట్టే టైం టీ సెకండ్స్ అనుకోండి. అప్పుడు లాస్ట్ సెకండ్ అంటే టీత్ సెకండేగా అయ్యేది. లేదు ఇది 5 సెకండ్స్ అనుకోండి, లాస్ట్ సెకండ్ అంటే 5th సెకండేగా. అయితే ఆ లాస్ట్ సెకండ్ లో ట్రావెల్ చేసే డిస్టెన్స్ ఇక్కడ ఏమని ఇచ్చారంటే ఒక ప్రాబ్లం, ఏ స్టోన్ ఈజ్ రిలీజ్డ్, ఏ స్టోన్ ఈజ్ డ్రాప్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ హైట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది టాప్ ఆఫ్ ఏ టవర్, ట్రావెల్స్ హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ ది హైట్ ఆఫ్ ది టవర్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద లాస్ట్ సెకండ్. సపోజ్ ఏ స్టోన్ ఈజ్ డ్రాప్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ టవర్ హ్యావింగ్ హైట్ స్మాల్ హెచ్. హెచ్ హైట్ గల టవర్ పై నుంచి దీన్ని డ్రాప్ చేశాడు. హైట్ వల్ల మనకి ఏ బాడీ ఇస్ డ్రాప్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది టాప్ ఆఫ్ ది టవర్ హ్యావింగ్ సర్టన్ హైట్, బట్ ఇట్ ట్రావెల్స్ the distance traveled by the body in the last second. Suppose time taken by this freely falling body to reach the ground is a t. T means say 5 seconds. Last second means 5th second. No. Similarly, in the last second of its journey means last second means n is equal to tth second. In the last second of its journey, it will travel a distance equal to half of the height height from which it is dropped. That means in the last second, it will travel a distance equal to half of the height of the tower. That is given. Then what is the time taken by the body? What is the time of descent? అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి డ్రాప్ చేసిన బాడీ ఇక్కడ రావడానికి పట్టే టైం టీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. అది అడిగింది వాడు. ఎట్లా వస్తుంది? హౌ యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్, టెల్ మీ. టీ సెకండ్స్ లో ట్రావెల్ చేసే డిస్టెన్స్ ఏగా హెచ్ అంటే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ బై ద బాడీ ఇన్ టీ సెకండ్స్? ఎస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు హెచ్, దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు యూటీ ప్లస్ హాఫ్ హెచ్ స్క్వేర్. యూ 0 ప్లస్ హాఫ్ ఏ మీన్స్ జీ, టీ మీన్స్ టీ స్క్వేర్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈజ్ that implies h is equal to half g into t square. This is equation 1. Distance traveled by the body in the last second means nth second only, no? Suppose ikkadi nunchi raavadani pattina time t seconds anukondi, last second ante tth second kada, aa tth second lo travel chese distance height lo half undi ante sn is equal to h by 2. So sn is equal to h by 2, that is equal to u plus a into n minus half. sn ki formula undi kada, u plus a into n minus half ani. So u means 0 plus a ante z, n means t, because we can write t is equal to n also here. So t minus half, you find the t in this. Here h means, in this formula h means we can write this one, half gt square. H is half gt square by 2 is there, 2 is equal to g into t minus half. Here gg cancel, so t square by 4 is equal to t minus half. Do cross multiplication. T square is equal to 4 into t minus half. Okay, t square is equal to, you multiply with 4, 4t minus 4 into 1 by 2 means minus 2. That implies t square minus 4t plus 2 is equal to 0. It is the quadratic equation in terms of t. Now we solve them. It is the quadratic equation in terms of t. Now okay, it is the quadratic equation in terms of t. How we can find t? T is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, no, to find the roots. So minus b means minus half minus 4. Okay, I think you can do this problem. So when you simplify them, then you will get a t value 2 plus or minus root 2. 2 plus or minus root 2. You will get 2 plus or minus root 2 value. You will get 2 plus or minus root 2. Okay. So here, I think you will get in the given options, which answer is there, you write. Which answer is there, you write. Okay. This is the, that implies t is equal to 2 plus root 2. This is the time after which the body reaches the ground. Okay. In this way, we can find. This is one example. One note point. Next note point. Second note point, raindrops. Raindrops concept. Suppose rain is falling at the time from the roof of the building or from the top of the building. Suppose the raindrops falls one after the other in equal intervals of time. One after the other in equal intervals of time. Suppose you see here raindrops are falling in regular intervals of time. raindrops falling in regular intervals of time. Falling in regular intervals of time. Regular intervals of time. Okay, here raindrops are falling from the roof of the building, from the top of the building at regular intervals of time. When the first body reaches the ground, whenever the first drop reaches the ground, fifth drop ready to leave the roof. Fifth drop ready to leave the roof. Suppose the height of the tower is small h, height of the building is small h. From the top of the building of height h, the raindrops are falling at regular intervals of time. At the instant whenever first drop reaches the ground, the fifth drop ready to fall from the roof of the building, that is given. At that instant, what is the separation between? At that instant, what is the separation between second drop and third drop? They may ask. What is the separation between second drop and third drop? S23 or S32 is equal, sorry, S23, that is equal to question mark. What is the separation between second drop and third drop? At the instant whenever first drop reaches the ground and fifth drop ready to leave. Okay, suppose if the sixth drop ready to leave, you draw here 6. In between first drop and fifth drop, how many drops are there? How many raindrops are there? First drop ki fifth drop ki majlo inka any drops untai? First drop ki third drop, fifth drop ki majlo inka any drops untai? Rain drops enni untai inka? 3 more drops are there. Second drop, it is the second drop, third drop, fourth drop, fifth drop, like this. The time interval between any two successive raindrops, adjacent raindrops, remains same. This time interval is equal to delta t. This time interval is delta t. This time interval is delta t. This time interval is delta t. Suppose we are given time taken by the first drop to reach the ground, capital T is given, or distance traveled by the, as the raindrops falls from a height h. If it h is given, then time taken by first raindrop to reach the ground from the top of the building, T is equal to root 2h by 0. లేకపోతే దీనే క్యాపిటల్ టీ అనుకోండి. మీకు ఆల్రెడీ హెచ్ ఇచ్చాడు వాడు అనుకుందాం. అప్పుడు టైం టేకన్ బై ద ఫస్ట్ రైన్ డ్రాప్ టు రీచ్ ద గ్రౌండ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది టాప్ ఆఫ్ ది బిల్డింగ్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు రూట్ 2h by z. ఇందా మనం డిరైవ్ చేస్తాం కదా, హెచ్ హైట్ నుంచి డ్రాప్ చేసిన బాడీ గ్రౌండ్ రీచ్ కావడానికి ఎంత టైం పడుతుందంటే రూట్ 2h by z ఫార్ములా డిరైవ్ చేస్తాం కదా. లేదు, ఐడియా లేదు మనకి. యాజ్ ఫస్ట్ డ్రాప్ ఈజ్ ఫ్రీలీ ఫాలింగ్ డ్రాప్, u is equal to 0, a is equal to plus z, s is equal to h, t is equal to question mark. You will get root 2h by z from the formula s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, అయితే it is the total time taken by the first raindrop to reach the ground. But as the raindrops falling at regular intervals of time, this total time is divided into how many equal parts? In between these two, one time interval is there, here one time interval is there, here. That means 4 equal intervals of time is there. Total time taken by the first raindrop to reach the ground is t. You divide into 4 equal intervals of time, then this is equal to 4 into equal intervals of time means t by 4, t by 4, t by 4, t by 4, like that. T by 4, t by 4, t by 4, t by 4. If 5 intervals are there, t by 5, t by 5, like that. Okay, now they asked what is the distance between, at the instant whenever the first drop reaches the ground, what is the separation between second drop and fourth drop? No, third drop, sorry. Second drop and third drop. The separation between these two they asked. This one is S23. That is how much? Suppose second drop, at the instant when first drop is here, as the second drop is here, second drop travel a distance equal to S2 from the top of the building. At the same time, the third drop travel a distance equal to S3. Then what is S23? S23 is equal to S2 minus S3, no? S2 minus S3 gives separation between second drop and third drop. At the instant whenever first drop reaches the ground and fifth drop ready to leave, ready to fall from the roof. Okay, how we can find S2? S2 means, you see, S2 is the distance traveled by the second drop from the top of the building. For what time the second drop travel? T by 4, t by 4, t by 4 means 3t by 4 time it travels, no, to reach this point. That's why distance traveled by the any body whenever dropped to travel a time t. What is the distance traveled? From s is equal to ut plus half at square. u0 plus half a means z, t square. It is the distance traveled. So in case of second drop, to travel a time equal to 3t by 4, t by 4, t by 4, t by 4, 3t by 4. To reach the second drop here from the top, time taken is 3t by 4. In this time, what is the distance traveled means from this formula, half g into t T means 3t/4 whole square minus S3, distance traveled by the third drop in a time equal to t/4 plus t/4. థర్డ్ డ్రాప్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిందంటే t/4 plus t/4, t/2 డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ చేసినట్టేగా. కాబట్టి డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు హాఫ్ g ఇంటూ t/4 plus t/4 అంటే t/2 డిస్టెన్స్ టైం ట్రావెల్ చేసినట్టేగా. ఆ టైంలో ఎంత డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ చేసి ఉంటుంది? 2t/4 whole square. So this is equal to, if you simplify them, then 3, okay, what you will get, you see, g/2 into 9t square by 16 minus g/2 into 4, here t 2 2s are, t/2 whole square means t square by 4. Therefore that is equal to 9 gt square by 32 minus gt square by 8. So therefore s23 is equal to, s23 is equal to, you take LCM, 32 is LCM, here 32 is there, that's why 9 gt square as it is you will get, minus 8 4s are 4 into gt square, 4 gt square. Therefore s23 is equal to 5 gt square by 32. It is the separation between the, suppose if you are given time taken by the first drop to reach the ground is equal to capital T, then in terms of capital T, separation between the second drop and third drop is this one. At the instant when first drop reaches the ground and fifth drop ready to leave. Suppose you are given the height from which the bodies, the drops are falling, h is given, t is not given. In that case, capital T is equal to root 2 h by z, no? You substitute capital T value there. That is equal to 5z by 32 into capital T means root 2 h by z. Then t square means 2h by z only. 2h by z you substitute. Okay, 2 16s are, z cancel. Therefore s23 is equal to 5h by 16. It is the separation between the second drop and the third drop at the instant whenever first drop reaches the ground and fifth drop ready to leave the roof. That is the question. At the instant whenever first drop reaches the ground, what is the height of the second drop? They may ask, what is the height of the second drop? h2 is equal to question mark. ఇది అడగచ్చు వాడు ఒక్కోసారి. ఓకే, అప్పుడు ఎట్లా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తాం? ఈ డిస్టెన్స్, ఈ హైట్ అడిగినప్పుడు టోటల్ హైట్ నుంచి సెకండ్ డ్రాప్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసరికి ఎంత డిస్టెన్స్ ట్రావెల్ చేస్తుందో కనుక్కో. ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇక్కడికంటే s2 కదా మనం అనుకుంది. ఈ టోటల్ హైట్ నుంచి s2 సపరేట్ చేస్తే ఈ హైట్ ఆఫ్ ది సెకండ్ డ్రాప్ ఫ్రమ్ ది గ్రౌండ్ ఏగా వచ్చేది. అంటే h2 is equal to total height from minus distance traveled by the second drop up to this, that is equal to s2. s2 means st is equal to this only, no? h minus s2 means half g into 3t square by 4 అంటే ఇదేగా, g/2 into 9t square by 16, that is equal to h minus 9g by 32 into t square means t is equal to this one, t square means 2h by z and root whole square అంటే 2h by z, gz cancel, 2 16s are. Therefore h2 is equal to h minus 9h by 16, h minus 9h by 16. So when you take LCM, you will get 7h by 16. It is the height of the second drop at the instant whenever the first drop reaches the ground and the fifth drop ready to leave the roof of the building. In this way we had to do. Okay, just for just one more day only, I think. Okay, I will try to adjust it tomorrow. So today you just, okay, only at this part you are unable to see the letters. Remaining part you can see here. Okay, so yeah, just for this today and tomorrow and today. Okay, try to adjust tomorrow or we'll change the time. Okay, evening you can see the board clearly. Okay, I will send the notes and keep the upload in the group also, WhatsApp group also. Okay, this is one more concept. Next one, well. Suppose in a well there is a water. In a well there is a water. One stone is dropped. Okay, last 4 minutes. Last 4 minutes. Suppose here there is a well. There is a well. Here water is there up to certain depth, up to certain level. Here water is there in the well at a depth small h. One stone is, it was given previously in mains. One stone is dropped from this top of the well. ikkadi nunchi oka stone ni drop chesadu. Drop chesinappudu it acts as the freely falling body and it comes down and strikes the surface of the water. As it is dropped freely, then time taken by this stone to reach the surface of the water is called, say, T1. At the instant whenever the stone strikes the surface of the water, immediately a sound is produced. That is called splash of water. The sound produced is called splash of water. Splash of water or sound produced when stone strikes the surface of water. Stone strikes the surface of water. Okay, that is called splash of water. When the stone is released from this point, it is the stone. It is the stone. When stone is released from the top of the well, before reaches the surface of the water, time taken is T1. So after stone dropped, T1 seconds after stone is dropped, the stone strikes the surface of the water. Then sound is produced. A splash of water is produced. Immediately, the sound produced here travel to the top of the well, and a person here, observer is here. Observer heard that sound. Suppose time taken by the sound to reach the top of the well from the surface of the water is, say, T2. Then after what time the stone is dropped, the splash of water is heard from the diagram. Stone ni drop chesina enta time tarvata splash of water manaku vinipistundi. Stone ni drop chesina enta time tarvata manaku splash of water vinipistundi. Stone ni drop chesina enta time tarvata splash of water లేదా స్టోన్ సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ద వాటర్ ని స్ట్రైక్ చేసిన ఎంత టైం తర్వాత సౌండ్ వినిపిస్తుంది అంటే T1 + T2. దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు T1 + T2. వెరీ గుడ్. స్టోన్ ని డ్రాప్ చేసిన T సెకండ్స్ తర్వాత అది మనకు వినిపిస్తుంది, సౌండ్ వినిపిస్తుంది. అంటే ఆ టైంలో స్టోన్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి రావడానికి పట్టిన టైం ఉంటుంది, సౌండ్ వేవ్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి రావడానికి పట్టే టైం కూడా ఉంటుంది. అయితే స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ ది సౌండ్ ఇస్తే C, స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ ది సౌండ్ ఇస్తే V. V ఇస్ ద స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ సౌండ్. V గనక స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ సౌండ్ అయితే, స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ సౌండ్ అయితే T is equal to, what is T1? T1 అంటే టైం టేకెన్ బై ద స్టోన్ టు రీచ్ ద సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ద వాటర్. అంటే ఎంత హైట్ నుంచి కిందకి, ఎంత హైట్ ఫాలో అవ్వాలి కిందకి? H హైట్. H హైట్ నుంచి డ్రాప్ చేసిన బాడీ H డిస్టెన్స్ కిందకి రావడానికి ఎంత టైం పడుతుంది? వాట్ ఈస్ ద టైం టేకెన్ బై ద స్టోన్ టు ట్రావెల్ ఏ డిస్టెన్స్ ఈక్వల్ టు H డౌన్వర్డ్స్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఏ ఫ్రీలీ ఫాలింగ్ బాడీ? మీకు ఇందాక ఆల్రెడీ వచ్చింది. వెన్ ఏ స్టోన్ ఈస్ డ్రాప్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ హైట్ H, టైం టేకెన్ బై ద బాడీ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు √2H/z only. So this is equal to √2H/z plus T2 means time taken by the sound to travel from this point to this point. That is equal to distance traveled by the sound is equal to height from which the stone is dropped. That is equal to distance to which the sound wave travel to hear the sound. That's why H. By velocity of the sound is V. So this is the total time taken by the to hear the splash of water after stone is released. Stone is drop chesina ఇంత టైం తర్వాత మనకి స్టోన్ సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ద వాటర్ ని స్ట్రైక్ అయిన సౌండ్ మనకి వినిపిస్తుంది. దాన్ని స్ప్లాష్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ అంటాం. దట్ ఈస్ ద టోటల్ టైం టేకెన్. ఓకే, with this topic I conclude the class. Tomorrow I will say the remaining topics. Okay, have a nice day. Today I will upload this in YouTube also, this video. Okay, today based on these concepts you have to do the problems. Okay, now have a nice day. I'm signing out. Bye all of you.